October 4th, 2016. Memorial of St. Francis of Assisi.
A reading from the letter of St. Paul to the Galatians. Brothers and sisters, you heard of my former way of life in Judaism, how I persecuted the Church of God beyond measure and tried to destroy it, and progressed in Judaism beyond many of my contemporaries among my race, since I was even more a zealot for my ancestral traditions. But when he who from my mother's womb had set me apart and called me through his grace was pleased to reveal his Son to me so that I might proclaim him to the Gentiles, I did not immediately consult flesh and blood, nor did I go up to Jerusalem to those who were apostles before me. Rather, I went into Arabia and then returned to Damascus. Then, after 3 years, I went up to Jerusalem to confer with Cephas and remained with him for 15 days. But I did not see any other of the apostles, only James, the brother of the Lord. As to what I am writing to you, behold, before God, I am not lying. Then I went into the regions of Syria and Cilicia, and I was unknown personally to the churches of Judea that are in Christ. They only kept hearing that the one who was once persecuting us is now preaching the faith he once tried to destroy. So they glorified God because of me. The word of the Lord.
Responsorial Psalm. The response is, Guide me, Lord, along the everlasting way. O Lord, you have probed me and you know me. You know when I sit and when I stand. You understand my thoughts from afar. My journeys and my rest you scrutinize. With all my ways you are familiar. Guide me, Lord, along the everlasting way. Truly you have formed my inmost being. You knit me in my mother's womb. I give you thanks that I am fearfully, wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. Guide me, Lord, along the everlasting way. My soul also you knew full well, nor was my frame unknown to you when I was made in secret, when I was fashioned in the depths of the earth. Guide me, Lord, along the everlasting way.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Jesus entered a village where a woman whose name was Martha welcomed him. She had a sister named Mary, who sat beside the Lord at his feet, listening to him speak. Martha, burdened with much serving, came to him and said, Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me by myself to do the serving? Tell her to help me. The Lord said to her in reply, Martha, Martha, you are anxious and worried about many things. There is need of only one thing. Mary has chosen the better part, and it will not be taken from her. The Gospel of the Lord.
October 4th, the Memorial of St. Francis of Assisi. The first reading comes from the letter to the Galatians, chapter 1, verses 13 to 24. Paul continues his argument with the Galatians concerning what is important in Judaism, and he gives them the example of his own life. He was very, very educated in Judaism. In fact, he studied under the great Rabbi Gamaliel in Jerusalem, and he was a zealot for his ancestral traditions, which means he was a Pharisee. But then he who set me aside from my mother's womb and called him to grace revealed his Son to him. To be set aside from his mother's womb is a quote of Jeremiah. Jeremiah said that he was set aside to be a prophet from his mother's womb. And Jeremiah was called a prophet to the nations. Remember, the word nations means the pagan peoples. We have no idea why they called Jeremiah that, because he really never went to the pagan peoples to preach. Paul is claiming this honor for himself. He is the evangelist of the pagans, of the nations. He was set aside before his birth. So his choice to become a Christian and his choice to evangelize the pagans is not his choice, it's God's choice. He didn't consult with flesh and blood, didn't go up to Jerusalem. So his ministry does not depend on that of the apostles, the 12 who live in Jerusalem. Why is he saying this? Because obviously the Jewish Christian missionaries who came up from Jerusalem said to the Galatians, who does Paul think he is? He's not even one of the apostles. And his response, I didn't need to be, because Jesus himself called me. He didn't go up to Jerusalem, in fact, until 3 years later, when he went to visit Cephas and James, the brother of Jesus. Why did he do that? Probably to find out about episodes in the life of Jesus. He knew the risen Jesus, but he had never encountered Jesus in the flesh. So he probably went up so that he might meet them and learn about Jesus. But the people who were there didn't see him. They only heard that the one who was once persecuting them is now proclaiming the gospel. This is directly contradicted with what's said in Acts of the Apostles. But we have to realize, it seems as if Luke didn't always know exactly what happened, and he tried to put the best spin on whatever he knew. So it's very possible that Luke just didn't know that Paul had only met with Cephas and with James. Luke might have thought that he met with all the apostles and that they approved of his ministry. The gospel is from Luke 10:38 to 42. Jesus goes to a village, doesn't name it, but it's Bethany, just outside of Jerusalem, where Martha and Mary live. This is the Martha and Mary who are the sisters of Lazarus. They're going to host them for the night, and Martha is very busy fulfilling all the responsibilities of hospitality. Mary just sits at Jesus' feet and listens to him. And after a while, Martha gets a little ticked. She goes up to Jesus and says, "Why don't you tell my sister to help me?" And Jesus responds, "You're busy about many things. She's done only one thing. She's chosen the better part." Now, this has often been used as a reason why somebody should join the contemplative life. Because contemplatives spend time doing only one thing, reflecting upon Jesus. But it could also be applied to simple hospitality. Sometimes we're so busy trying to show hospitality to others that we forget to spend time with them. Sometimes we're so busy with getting ready for special events like weddings, like Christmas, that by the time they arrive we're exhausted and we have no energy to give to those who are around us. We should balance this, and we should make sure that we always spend time for other people around us, including time for Jesus. And may God bless us.